Hi, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining. Listen, have I told you how much I appreciate your support? I don't think I have, man. I really do. Thank you so much. I am extremely grateful for your support on a videoly basis. That's a new word for you people, videoly. Right, so I'm thanking you for supporting, and I'm so grateful. Continue to share this story, and I hope you have been inspired and you can also inspire somebody by sharing these stories with them. Today, I will continue the story I started about 2 weeks ago, sharing with you my journey from being a pauper to a sponsored student. I look forward to telling you the young lady who inspired me and a lot more. Let's go right in. That after watching Profile on that day, I took the action of finding the young lady on Facebook and messaging her. Right, that's where I left off the last time. Beautiful. I'm so happy you remembered. Good student now. Yes, man. So that's where I left off. I found the young lady on Facebook, messaged her, and we had a conversation. And as I said, that was my first step into UTech. Before I ended the conversation with her, I asked her, do you think Study Corps has anything that can help a student like me? And she said, well, I'm not so sure at the moment, but I can send you an email address and you can make a request to that email address. And that's exactly what I did. I got a response in probably about a 2 months period. I got a response sending me some information about the Study Corps Foundation Scholarship that was going to be open soon, and I could apply to that scholarship. I got around to it quickly. I also told my brother, and both of us applied to the scholarship. And guess what? Both of us got the scholarship. Listen, pandemonium in the family. It was a bag of excitement and noise. I remember vividly the day when I got the scholarship. I was on campus. I remember, and I got the news that I got the scholarship, but I didn't want to call Bruce and tell him. I wanted him to call me first. And I didn't call him. I didn't know how we ended up talking that day. But it ended up being a thing where he wanted to call me and didn't want to call me, and then I didn't get it. And it was the same thing on my end. So we ended up didn't calling each other. But when we did, listen, I could hear Miss Joy in the background shouting the loudest hallelujahs like she normally does, you know. Listen, man, listen. It was just excitement on campus. But I'm going to backtrack a little because I want to tell you exactly how I got on campus. So in that year, I would have applied to SLB and got through. Big up to my sister and my brother who were my guarantors. Yes. And I got through to SLB, so of course, you know, tuition was set for the year, but I was good. But where was I going to stay? Where was I going to stay for school? I applied to boarding, but the truth is, I did not have the money to pay for boarding. And so what I did, I arranged with my cousin, big up yourself. Cousin Irma, trust me, there are not many persons like you in the world. I'm just wanting to tell her thanks and one for thanks. I made arrangement with her, and I left Clarendon on August 17. I think that was a Thursday. I didn't even have a straight ride to go to school, you know. Big up to my friend Anna, who was very helpful. I got in touch with her and she was willing to, of course, carry me along on her trip to UTech. When I got to Kingston, oh God. When I got to Kingston, I left my suitcase with Anna and took out a knapsack with clothes and some books and went to my cousin. And I was basically traveling back and forth, traveling from Kintyre to Maxfield to UTech, Kintyre to Maxfield to UTech. For 2 weeks being in Kingston. and not having somewhere to stay yet. And I was there going to school, and there is just something about me. I tend not to worry. Probably I shouldn't say worry. I tend to ignore reality sometimes and just go about my business. And trust me, sometimes that helps with a peace of mind. So I was going to school just the same. I was going to school just the same, doing my assignment, getting the things done. But at the end of the day, it was still in the back of my head. You really don't have anywhere to stay yet. Nowhere that's permanent. You're basically just staying here until, or if something work out, you know. And while I was at my cousin for the first week, I think it was about the Tuesday or so, I got a call to do an interview the following Friday. And Bruce got a call to do the interview the Thursday before. How was it? I don't quite remember, but I believe I went before Bruce. It would have been me on the Thursday, Bruce on the Friday. And we did the interview. And the following week I was on campus. And the little money I had to start ran out. I only had my fare to go back and forth. And I remember being on campus that day. And I wanted to buy lunch. Good? I wanted to buy lunch. Patties were for about $140. And when I checked my pocket, I only had $130. Walked out of Juicy Beef, went into the auditorium, sat down, and I was waiting for my next class to start. My sister called me, and the moment I said hello and she said how, I didn't wait until to finish the question. Tears started streaming down my face because I was like, what did I take on to myself? Leaving my home, coming to Kingston. Like girl, are you serious? I didn't even wait until she asked the question. I started crying and I hung up the phone. Went to class. After I was coming back from class, I checked my phone and I saw a missed call from a number that started with 9. Listen, when you get missed call from this number, you don't itch. Ready to make a call back the number. Please check to ensure that you have enough credit to make this call. If you do have enough credit, please hang up. Make up yourself, did yourself. So luckily my friend was there and I asked her for a call. And she called and we called. It was this very beautiful lady from Sagicor said, I was calling you to inform you that you got the scholarship. And I was like, yes, God! You did it, yes! Oh my God, I felt like an entire mountain dropped off my shoulder. Right, so I made my way, hurry and went home, and I told my cousin that, hey, I got the scholarship and excitement and all that. And in the evening, Bruce called and we shared the fact that we didn't want to actually call and then one person didn't get it. But thankfully, we both did. And you know what? It was just awesome. I miss one of the most interesting parts of university because I didn't have that. I could not pay to start living on dorm when I should have started, so I missed the dorm orientation experience. And trust me, it builds great people, so I didn't really want to miss it. But I did, and I mean, I recovered from that, so that's good. So having gotten the surgical scholarship, I got it for 4 years. It lasted for 4 years once I kept my GPA at 3 and above. Good, so I got the scholarship. And after 2 years, it so happened I got some more scholarship. I started playing football for UTech in my first year, and I think I want to share with you how that started. Now, I love football from a long time, and you probably would know by now that I was a little tomboy. Grew up with mostly my brothers and nephews and cousins. It was just one little female around me. My niece Rikila. And I wasn't so inclined to doing the little girly stuff, right? So I was always doing what the boys do, playing football, making gigs, marble, everything that boys would do, I would do it. So I learned how to play football and I loved football. Wanted to go to Lennon, but Mr. I said, nope, no Lennon for you. So, you know, I kind of held off that desire until I got to university. When I got to UTech, I said to myself, listen, I will not let anything prevent me from playing football. So, you know, you're going to ask questions because you want to find out. There was this young lady on my dorm who was a footballer, and we asked her, oh, can we join? And she told us we can come to the training and talk to coach. That I did on a Saturday morning. Got out of my bed very early, went to the front field and talked to coach. And coach asked us a few questions. She asked me if I ever played football before. And I wasn't thinking. I said to her, no, but I can play football. What she was really asking is if I can play football. But what I responded to was the fact that I never played for an official team. Alright, so that's what I responded to. And she said, well, you know, we're kind of working for a tournament in the end of September, so it's kind of rough for you now. You probably will have to try again. And it was my friend and I, Map told her, pick up yourself. It was my friend and I, and she left and said, alright, I said to myself, listen, me not leave, you know? Come here, baller. I can't play football, so me not leave. So I said, alright. I was just there and I watched them train and everything. I went to the corner and said, may I borrow a ball, please? And she said, sure. Took the ball and I started to juggle and do my little thing. And when they were finished now, well, I think I finished before they were finished. So I returned the ball to her and she said, well, you tell me you can't play ball. Then I explained to her that I never played for an official team, so that's why. And I was drafted, and that's how I started playing football for UTech, and I played for 5 years. And I think it was in my second year I was awarded the most outstanding student athlete. Alright, so sometimes we try at something and it doesn't work and we give up. Nah, keep trying. But at this time I was a very excited young lady at university doing all I can do. I think I could have done at the time. I was playing, I was representing the school, I was being a student leader on dorm, and I was doing good in my academics, so I felt very fulfilled in a sense. And from playing football, I got a student athlete scholarship as well, and I said to myself, well, you know, I kind of have some stuff going on now, so I can probably drop SLD. And it was also an advice from my RA at the time. She said, I mean, you're on some scholarships, so why not drop SLB? And the summer, after I finished some second year, that summer I said, Lord, I'm going out on a limb with you. I'm dropping SLB. I'm going to trust you to help me, because even though I had the 2 scholarships at the time, they were still not adequate to cover the expenses of a tertiary student education. Alright, but I went out on a limb and I said, God, let's do this. Came off SLB and I applied for the PATH scholarship. I got that, so now I had 3 scholarships going on. And things were not always easy, I must say. It got rough. I mean, knowing that you're basically you're not using SLB, so you're gonna always need to find way to ensure that your tuition is paid and your dorm fee is paid. And there are semesters after semester where I registered late. There was this one time when the semester was almost closing and I was not yet registered. And if you're not registered, you don't get your swipe activated for dorm, and you have to ask somebody to let you in or let you out every time. One day I was coming in from school, tired and hungry, you know. The security, I asked her to let me in. When she did, she was like, so where's your buzz? I said, I don't have one. But at the time I felt compelled to explain to her why I don't have one, because I've been doing it quite often, right? And I always just say to her, I don't have one. And I said to her, I don't have one. And she said, why? I said, well, because I'm not registered yet. And she was like, who does that? Listen, I felt so embarrassed. And but nevertheless, I got through in my final semester now. So having gotten all the scholarships, so I would have gotten the PATH scholarship, I was on the Surgical Foundation scholarship, I was on the Student Athlete scholarship, and I think it was in my 3rd year we would normally get $80,000 for the Student Athlete scholarship. And in my 3rd year, when I did not expect it, I got $100,000. Listen, so God was just working it out in my favor, and I am so grateful. And so that's 1, 2, 3. And in my 3rd year, I got the House of Residence scholarship. So these are the things, well, not little things. I mean, oh no, of course not. So that's how my university education was really sponsored. Good. In my final semester, by this time rather, I would have served in a number of capacity as a student leader. I would have served as religious coordinator, resident assistant. I would have served as executive advisor, and I then served as joint religious coordinator. I did that for 2 years. Good. So my final semester I was serving as JRC, joint religious coordinator, and I had a warm time. I was planning a major event for the semester, and Corona came and everything crashed. I felt terribly bad. School was getting difficult. I was still not registered, and the money was not flowing like I would want it to flow. And by the way, I would have done 5 years at university. Sagicor only covered 4 years. So I would have done 5 years, and I had to basically pay the final year out of my pocket, out of the pocket of those who were willing to help, right? So in my second semester, I was registered very late. Exams were coming up, and I wasn't registered. Then Corona came. We were thrust out of our dorm, the comfort of our dorms. We were sent home, and all of that. All of those things were happening. When I came home, I was explaining to my sister that, hey, I need some money because I need to finish this year. And my sister said, well, I don't have any right now. And about a day or two after that, she called me and said she heard that there's a farmer's market in Spaldings and she has some sweet peppers. And she said if I would be okay with coming to sell the sweet peppers with her in Spaldings. I said, I put on my higgle regalia and my sister and I went to Spalding, and we sold the sweet peppers and some other stuff like plantain and yam, and trust me, it was very fruitful. And I got a loan from her and paid some money, and big up to the student union and other bursaries and grants. And in that time too, I received some money from one of my nephew overseas. I didn't ask him for any money at all. He just called me and said, hey, send me a name, I'm going to send some money for you. And that played a major part in me tying up things in the last lap. Because it was that at that point, you feel like you would have come so far already. You're going to finish them, but you just still look a little blurred. Thankfully, everything worked out. And I left this part to the end because it's rather strategic. I think I'm leaving out something. Yes. So I was on SLD for 2 years. I got Sagicor scholarship for 4 years. I got the PATH scholarship. I got student athlete scholarship. I got the House of Residence scholarship. I got a bursary from the student union, and I also got an annual scholarship from church. Alright, an annual scholarship from church. I big up my Ebenezer family, instrumental in ensuring that we made it through university. So big up. And I am sure that you probably were waiting to hear, who is this young lady that you spoke to? Who is this young lady that was on profile? And then you found her and called and talked to her. Her name is Selena Chin. Selena Chin is a big top shot advisor, financial advisor at Sagicor, and she is such an awesome person. She was not just a beauty being displayed on profile, but she is a beauty at heart. So Selena Chin, big up yourself. I am grateful for what you have done for me, and I will forever hold you in high esteem because you're the boss. So big up Selena, and yeah, that's how I moved from being a student who was poverty stricken to a sponsored student. I just want to encourage person that do not allow your situations or your upbringing, your background to limit what you try to reach for. The truth is your success is not dependent on your current realities. It's dependent on God who created you for a purpose, with a purpose, and to ensure you carry others to their purpose. So it's not dependent on your limitations. Alright, so step out and step up and represent. I want to encourage us also as Christians, because and for those who are living in the more rural area of Jamaica, there are a lot of things that we are not exposed to. Good? There are a lot of things we're not exposed to. And when I went to university, a lot of things were said. One student said that it's impossible for you to come to university and not fail at least a module. I was like, impossible? We're going to see about that. And I dismissed that thought out of my spirit. I was not going to have it any at all. And mind you, there are times when things got rough and you feel like, say, yes, this is it. This is the one module that student was talking about. But thankfully, I held on to God and held on to His promises, and I never failed a module. Alright, I remember when I was doing the initial processes for starting university, I overheard a conversation. Somebody said, you know, rural students tend to do better in university. Right? And the person, I don't know why. I think that's all I needed to hear. that was like subtle gem for me, because I was going to be one of those rural students. Thanks be to God I was. And I want to encourage somebody, don't let how you started determine how far you go. Do not let how you started determine how far you go. Do not let how you started determine how far you go. There's greatness in you, Lord God. There is so much in you, and I don't want you to feel as though your limitations should restrict your potential. No. Get up, do what it is that your heart desires most to do, and do it with God. God has called us not to remain as paupers, but to live like we are sponsored, because we are. And if God puts a purpose in you, He is going to sponsor it. If God puts a purpose in you, He's going to support it. He's your backative. I believe one of my greatest moments in life is when I realized I had divine backative. There's no stopping me. There's no stopping you. Keep at it, and trust me, you too can become sponsored and definitely excel at anything you do. Blessings, and thank you again for tuning in.